He is risen. He is risen indeed. Welcome to another Christian Stream Conversations. This one's about friends. Something that's kind of hit me recently. It reflects to current, but also past, and it's a reminder of things. The one thing about this life that's always, not quite eternal. We hope they are eternal, but not everything's eternal. And friendships can be eternal, but if we're all together in heaven together, but at times they're not. So anyways, this is about friends. As a reminder, the conversation is an oral exchange of sentiments and observations, opinions, or ideas, an instance of such exchange, an informal discussion of an issue by representatives of governments, institutions, or groups, and exchange similar to conversation. I know it's always weird when you say, hey, conversation is the definition has conversation. What's exchange? Friends. So this discussion is about friends, whether it's in person or virtual. Is there a difference? I mean, I would argue there's no difference between in-person or virtual friends. They're the same. If you treat them the same, you work out the same, if you do the same, then they're all the same, whether in person or virtual. Now, there are those who will say that in-person friends are more permanent. They're not as transitory because they're permanent. You can see them. Like, you make a friend in church, you can see them on a weekly basis. You make a friend at work, you can see them on a regular basis. You make a friend who's a neighbor around here, you can see them on a regular basis. While virtual friends, out of sight, out of mind, which is true. Which is one reason why for virtual friends you have to be a little more diligent and a little more, recognizing of making it happen. Okay, be not intuitive, be more, just more important about making it happen. But what about disciples, family, acquaintances, colleagues? Are they friends? I mean, the disciples, we know that when Jesus brought the 12 together, they didn't know each other. Well, some did. There were some were brothers and maybe friends or they're fishermen, but everybody else was not. I'm hoping in 3 years they became friends, but who knows? Family, are they friends? Well, we don't typically talk about family being friends because they're family. It's blood, and so therefore you're stuck with them. Well, at times you can argue that you can pick and choose your family, your friends. You can't pick and choose your family. So, but hey, a really good family member can be a friend, especially if your relationship has changed. Say you were, I don't know, maybe it's never possible to change your relationship dynamics, but you can, considering the fact that we also, as we're part of the family of God now, we consider our family. So I consider my friends who are now my family, but that's even worse though, okay? If I lose a friend who's not a Christian, not part of the family, it does not hurt as much when I lose a friend who's a family member, who's a fellow brother or sister in the Lord. Acquaintances are just what they are, acquaintances. You just kind of know them. And colleagues, typically they're work colleagues. You don't really know their lives outside of work. You just work together and deal with things together, and so that's the way it works, okay? All right, define some terms. We want to make sure you understand what the word friend means. So getting from the dictionary, a friend is a person whom one knows, likes, and trusts. A person whom one knows, an acquaintance, which is kind of weird because I just said acquaintances aren't friends. A person with whom one is allied in a struggle or a cause or a comrade, and one who supports, sympathizes with, or patronizes a group, cause, or movement. That to me is a very broad definition of the word friend. Okay, and that just means that you can call anyone a friend. Then I think if you can call anyone a friend, it's meaningless. It's totally meaningless. Okay, but to me, a friend is a person whom one knows, likes, and trusts. Someone who knows, likes, and trusts. And we're talking a little more about this, right? So we're talking about what a friend is. We also want to talk about what acquaintances are. Well, knowledge of a person acquired by a relationship less intimate than a friendship. Relationship based on such knowledge struck up an acquaintance with our new neighbor, a person who one knows, and knowledge or information about something or someone. So you see, I call it less formal. So we're not going to do this, okay, for acquaintances. Colleague, it's a fellow member of a profession, staff, or academic faculty, and associate. So to me, I'm talking about friends. A true friend, a friend who defines as someone you likes, knows, and trust. So, how do you all define a friend? That's the biggest thing we have to understand, is what a friend is. If we're off on different definitions, we'll never have the discussion very well. Okay? So, are friends people that you like, know, and trust? Well, I hope so, right? Are friends there for you in thick and thin? Will friends criticize you? Will friends rebuke you or call you out? Will friends give you guidance and advice, or will they ignore you? I mean, we're exactly our friends in everything. For our friends, just an acquaintance. Our friend, just someone we just call a friend. Hey, friend. Just like a regular, like, you know, a call out without even bother anything behind it. Nothing really solid behind it. Just, hi, friend. You know, I think that people could use friends and make it like a pie crust promise. Could be easily made, easily broken. And that's where I'm like, you know, if you're calling someone a friend, you might be defining it different than I'm defining it as a friend. So when I was on my road trip, you know, this whole coming back from my daughter's house, I was trying to stream on my car, and of course the audio was terrible. And I tell the story about the fact that I had friends in Dark Age of Camelot. They were in the same guild as us. I was, okay, and so they were on the East Coast. I was the West Coast. So I would come in, they go, hey, it's like, I'm happy to see me. They invite me to groups, right? And we do things together as part of their guild and whatnot. And of course, as East Coasters, they would leave early, okay? I would continue playing, and they were gone. But one day, they told me that they decided to create another guild or play on a different server. I forget what it was, okay? And they left me behind. Wait, what? Well, we figured you would stay. You want to stay, and I go, you didn't ask me to come with you? That's when I realized they were not my friends. I was an acquaintance. I was a guildie. I wasn't their friend. Mind you, they all knew each other in real life. I got that, okay? So I was the add-on. So I was not a real-life friend. And so therefore, that was a very rude awakening. When I started playing World of Warcraft and I had a guild, I started off with my brother and family and some of his friends, his IRL friends, okay? And so they knew each other. And so that was kind of fun and special. Mine finding some of these friends that my brother played with for years, you know, for D&D stuff. And so those were friends. And so it felt differently, you know, like that. Now, I thought all my friends were going to come with us to Star Wars, but they didn't. They stayed behind. So that kind of broke something a little bit. I felt as if the friendship was broken because now they didn't come to Star Wars. And those who did come to Star Wars ended up going somewhere else. And so this guild that I thought were friends ended up being broken. Now you can argue that I caused it by going to Star Wars, but we all talked about it. We all talked about going to Star Wars, creating a new guild over there and playing Star Wars, not playing World of Warcraft. So they're still my Facebook friends. I'm going to have a 40th high school reunion. My mom was asking me if I know if anybody there is my friends. Like, well, I'm Facebook friends with them. But no, I have not chatted with them on a deep level for a long time. So for me, friends are those you can count on. Those you can give a phone call or a DM and say, hey, I need your help. And they're there to help you. I'm not saying they're there to help you with financially, right? They could be there, someone to help you answer a question, or if you're going through a troubled time, you can talk to someone. You can vent with them, okay? You can tell them, hey, dude, you something you did I thought was wrong. Someone you can be who rebukes you and calls you out when you made a mistake. Someone who is there for you thick and thin. That's a true friend. A friend who is willing to be there through thick and thin. If a friend is not going to do that, that's not a friend. That's more like an acquaintance. Disciples, I already said, I don't think I think in the course of 3 years, they became friends. They would have to. But then again, you know, who knows, okay? But if you're with someone for 3 years, definitely colleagues. They're definitely acquaintances. Definitely disciples, okay? Family. So I think family can be friends, you know, definitely if you have two different ways of defining family. Family that's part of the kingdom of God, like us together, brothers and sisters, we're friends, but we're also family. Now, if you've had blood family, right, it's even different, right? Because you can't choose your family, so you don't want to lose them, right? But you also tend to treat them differently. You'll treat your friends a lot better than your family. It happens because you understand you might lose your friends. You may not lose your family. So people treat friends a little differently than family. But again, a good friend wouldn't leave if you treated them wrong. Now, mind you don't want to treat them bad. You don't treat anybody bad. And you're not going to treat a family or a friend badly, okay? You shouldn't, because you're going to lose both of them. It doesn't matter, okay? So friends, are friendships easily made, easily broken? In a virtual world, it very much is at times, right? This is why I said there might be a distinction. If you have a real life friend here, your neighbor, your colleague at work, someone at church, right? Someone you see on a regular basis, it's hard to all of a sudden walk away and not have a discussion, or at least to find out what's going on, to see what they're talking about, if they're acting, you know, cold shoulder to you. Virtual, they just ban you, block you, don't say anything. It's like, what? You know, it feels like people are very willing to just trash and jettison virtual friends on a whim and a dime, whatever. Okay, do friends stick with you thick and thin? I think they do. Do friends call you out and rebuke you out of love and concern? Yeah. Do friends beat you up? Well, no. Do they cast aspersions at you? No, that's not a friend. Okay. Or do they toss you under the bus? No. Do friends at you or subtweet you? It depends on the conversation, but no. You know, you're supposed to be talking with someone directly. If you found your friend, you know, who is sinning, then you want to talk to the person privately. You want to have the person privately, not out. I mean, yes, I know it could be a public sin, right? But you want to talk to the person privately first before you go publicly. So friends, you know, are, you know, and that whole thing about what happened in Dungeons of Camelot 15 plus years ago is still around today. You know, I've made some friends along the way last number of years, right? I thought some really good friends, and I've been abandoned, cast out. I have no idea why. I could reach out and ask them, but I felt like it was on them. They're the ones who did it, not me. So I'm like, okay, you know, maybe it could be me. Maybe I should be the one reaching out to them. But you know, it is hard, and it's very easy. All of a sudden, it's like you just don't see them anymore. You literally don't see them anymore. It's like because they turned off, right? They said you could DM them. They don't, you know, not part of your life anymore. So it's like, okay, I don't know what happened there, you know. So friends. Now, I think that we as Christians, okay, have a higher calling when it comes to friends, okay? Your neighbors, okay? Now, I'm not saying neighbors are friends, because they're not. Your neighbors are neighbors, not friends. Because, you know, I don't think there are friends, but you can make your neighbors your friend. Matter of fact, the greatest way to destroy your enemy is to make your enemy your friend. Well, that'd be great, wouldn't it? You know, so you know, as Christians, I think it's more incumbent upon us to try to make friends. Now, mind you, we don't be friends with the world. You know, that's the thing about what Christ said, right? So there's a limitation. I know that the Bible talks it very clearly, especially when it comes about like, especially the culture of the Middle East, about who you invite into your home, right? You don't invite anybody into your home, only friends. You know, it's like, yeah, I think that's also back then, Middle Eastern culture. Today, we can invite friends over. You know, that's how you make friends sometimes. It might not be a way to actually talk to them about what's going on. So when you do, I'm sure all of you have lost friends. I'm sure all of you have seen friends you made and you know, that were special friends and they're gone. I don't know, either it's something they did or you did. You know, I'm just hoping that, you know, the friends you have, you don't lose. You know, always that song when the kids were growing up and we sing, you know, make new friends, you know, and keep the old ones. One is silver, the other one is gold. You know, so you got to make new friends. I've made new friends. I'm unfortunately lost some friends. You know, it doesn't hurt so much when you lose some friends who aren't family. It hurts more when you lose friends who are family. When you thought there was a relationship there, you thought there was a friendship there, a brother sister type of friendship. You know, so I miss that. But I also know that God has got me covered, and I can make new friends. So the Great Commission I wanted to bring up is because Jesus to them, go, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I command you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. So I think that by going out there and discipling and going out to the world proclaiming the gospel, you can make new friends. And one day you will all be in heaven together. They give their lives to Christ and you all be together. So you made a friend for life, for eternity. You know, so that's not a bad thing. So that's what my stream conversation is about, is friends. Friends.
Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.